Hello everyone, welcome to a different kind of DSP video. I am going to talk about the quality of DSP's content because it has ever been on a decline ever since he went back to Twitch. Now, let's say, for argument's sake, we take away the trolls. The trolls are gone. No more trolls. They are now living happy lives. They're gone. The Rambo and Howard video never happened. That's gone. Uh, Project 7 never happened, so there was no Project 7 drama at all. Except for, let's say, that he still loses machinima, he still loses curse, and he still ends up being a live streamer. So that stays the same, but all this drama that surrounded him is all gone. None of this happened. The back taxes, they're gone too. I still think with all that said and done, DSP would still be bleeding fans and he'd still be where he is today because if you look at the content he did back in 2008 through 2016, as much of bad content that it was, I could still see why people liked his videos and why they still supported him at that time. But now, I just don't see the same kind of fan base anymore because they all left. And I think that's also true for a lot of trolls. I think a lot of people have kind of stopped trolling DSP and started to expand in their own. Either they moved on or they expanded in their own content because there. It's not even necessarily that. And again, I don't want to speak for other people. So this is just my perspective on it. So just putting that out there. Uh, it's not that DSP is boring. It's just that there really isn't anything worth talking about that's either hasn't been said before or is worth saying. Like the pre-streams, he used to have these interesting segments where he would go on and on about his own opinions on things, and now it just it's just him reading Twitter trends and then just giving like a standard response to it. It feels like sitting through just PR the whole pre-stream now, and that's kind of depressing. For a guy who claims to be such a gamer and he loves gaming and he loves coming on stream for everyone and all this stuff and sharing his opinions, but his opinions are all just they all just don't feel genuine. And I think back to that Pokemon Moon drama that Eddie B43 put up, the video where gets mad that his chat accuses him of not being engaged anymore, so he calls his viewers lazy. And I listened to that criticism that they gave DSP. I'm like, this criticism is way more appropriate now than it was ever since. Because if you look at the content he puts out now, he just doesn't seem engaged. Like you look at, MGS5, MGS3, and like, when he first played it, he seemed kind of like engaged in what he was doing. He might not have known how to play these fucking games, but he seemed to be at least engaged with what he was doing compared to how he's playing games now, where it just seems like he's just having a miserable time. And the commentary is also something to worth talk about because if you look at the pre-streams back in like 2015 or so, which is probably the only day you could listen to his pre-streams because he erased the older ones. But if you listen to the earliest pre-streams like 2015, 2016, he seemed to be very coherent with what he was saying, and he was very on point in what he was trying to tell the viewer. And it sounded like he had a lot of faith in his audience that they had a brain. But if you look at his content now and you listen to his pre-streams, you would literally think DSP is talking to babies because he talks in such a big roundabout way. He starts inventing words that don't really have any meaning, or he uses words that sound nice but are not accurate to what he's saying. And he does all this stuff to just kind of blow up his streams and make himself look really good and condescending. And it's kind of disrespectful to do this to your audience, to sit there and talk down to them like they're babies like this, and then to go out of your way to over explain everything. Like, he could explain how to tip, sure. Like, he could say, hey guys, welcome to the stream. If you want to support me, there's super chats, tips, and memberships. I prefer tips, but you do you, or whatever. Just say, like, hey, you want to support the stream? So become a member, super chat, or tip me. Tipping is great if you want. You could do that by doing exclamation mark tip. But do what you want. All right, then move on to the next segment. But instead, we get, hi guys. So like, I got bills. Okay, I gotta pay them. Sucks, but I'm an adult now, so I gotta pay the bills. And it's just like so much descriptions just to say, guys, support me. And then the way he describes how to tip is ridiculous. Okay, guys, so you could do exclamation mark tip in the chat, or you could go to my description and find the link, and the link will lead to a tips page, and then you can tip me. And then if you hit this amount, I'll put on glasses. That amount, I'll put on a vest. This amount, I'll put on a hat, guys. And it's just like, okay, like he has a slide that runs that down for everyone. Like it breaks it down for them. And then but DSP constantly has to explain what the how to tip and all of this stuff. It's so ridiculous that it goes into so much detail that it's just insane. It's insane to me. Um and just seems to be so like out there too. Like he would just go in a roundabout discussion for no reason that sounds like it has no point. When you listen to a kid talk and they tell you a story or a dream that they had, and by the time they get to the end, it has like no point. But you're not gonna fucking shoot the kid down. You're not gonna be like, that didn't have a point. You're just sit there and be like, yeah, wow, Timmy, that's pretty cool. And then you go on about your day. But DSP is little Timmy in a 40-year-old body, just going on and about these stories that have no point. So it's maddening, and it blows my mind that DSP doesn't understand that running these pre-streams in this way, where it has these hard segments and baked in, will just lead to this whole pre-stream to become white noise. And I think that's really why you see people ask him the same questions for answers that he already answered. Like, he could go on about the games he's gonna play this whole year, and then like after the pre-stream, someone will say, "Hey Phil, are you gonna play the the Ghost of Tsushima DLC?" And he'll be like, "Yeah." But it's like, well, yeah, you just said that in the pre-stream. But since no one in his chat is really cared anymore about listening to the pre-stream, they have to ask him, because the pre-stream is so much white noise that you don't listen to it. And DSP does not see that as a problem. He doesn't see the problem that his chat just views his pre-streams as white noise, and it's like, okay. Because this was an issue back when he was on Twitch, and I fear that it's going to happen on YouTube now. He's going to reinsert the origin story he used to do. There was a time on DSP's stream where he would literally just go over his origin story every single day. And it was like, do we really need to hear about the fucking helicopter company every single day? And then, like, when people were, like, trying to tell him, like, hey, can you, like, cut down on the plugs? Like, no, you need to hear the plugs. Like, how do you know how to support me? It's like, keep the support part. Just get rid of the origin story. We don't need to know this anymore. Like, but now it's just telling us every day how he's an independent streamer. It's like, we can see that. Like, it's wild to me that he has to tell us that he's an independent streamer when there's laws or whatever telling people that, hey, if you're being sponsored, you have to tell us. You have to say you're sponsored. And he's also technically wrong saying that he's not partnered anymore, or that he's not a partnered streamer when he has a check mark on his YouTube channel, implying that he's a YouTube partner. So, I mean, it's kind of silly to say that he has no partnerships when he is with YouTube, but that's another story for another day. So he tells us all this every day about how, like, he's an independent streamer. It's like, we get that. We can see that, DSP. We have eyes. And we have ears. We do have ears. But, like, the thing is that it just shows how little faith DSP has in his audience. He really sees his audience as babies. and it extends all the way into his commentary. Because if you look at the commentary back in 2015 and all that, it sounded more engaged, and it sounded like he was talking to people of his age or just people in general. So it sounded like he was kind of down to earth to a point, or whatever. Like and the jokes he said were not funny, and they were kind of fucking racist. But he at least made an attempt. But the comedy and commentary you get now is just this is his commentary. Oh, yeah, I agree with you, Timbo. I do think the uh Zelda Wind Waker is the best Zelda game. Cole to say that he likes hamburgers. I love hamburgers, and when the hamburgers are grilled just right, and they have like seasoning, and oh, if they put like is it Worcester sauce, or is it like Worcester sauce? That's pretty good. Oh man, I'm getting so hungry now. Oh man, and that's the commentary, and then the comedy, the jokes he does. So obviously everyone did not like his Nazi humor in Dead Space 2. No one laughed. No one thought it was funny, even though it was a ripoff of Howard Stern guys. And okay, side note on that. I love that DSP has admitted that he steals everyone's bits and no one has given him shit about it. Like during the debunk stream, he pretty much said that all the comedy he was doing was ripped from other people. And you can even still see that to this day, that a lot of his commentary, a lot of his mannerisms are ripped from other people. So there really is no genuine commentary from the guy. There's no like creative spin or anything. Like usually people can be inspired by something and pay a homage to someone and then just spin it into something for themselves. But DSP just doesn't do any of that. He just takes it and then just uses it and moves on. And it's like, dude, you're doing a creative endeavor and you're just being lazy with it. But okay, there you go. There was that little tidbit there. But so that was the kind of humor he would do back then. That's not funny, but he at least kind of made an attempt. But the humor he does now, the only edgy humor he does now is pretty much towards genders. Now he makes fun of genders, which is great. I mean, no one will get mad apparently. But he does that, and then he mostly does. This is the majority of his comedy. Huh? Like he would do that kind of shit, and he would do these like clownish things that you would listen to, and you would swear. Like if you just have a tab open and you're not seeing what he's doing or whatever, you would think that he is just some guy doing jokes for toddlers. Like he would if someone asks him a dumb question, he would do a full screen no, and instead of saying no, he'd be like no. He would do like these clown faces, and that's his comedy. And this is stuff that you would see like a parent do to their kid. Like he's literally a step away from playing peekaboo. Like he might as well be playing peekaboo. It's the same kind of humor. It's that, and it's the sarcasm humor that is just so fucking bland. Like I saw a tweet about this, and I fucking agreed with it. We should criminalize the comedy of people saying like, "Hey, can I do this?" No. We should ban that. I agree. We should criminalize that kind of humor. Ban it. Make that illegal. If Biden does this, I'm gonna say it. The perfect president if he does this, but he won't because he doesn't know where he is right now. But anyways, enough political humor. But anyways, that's the kind of humor. It's just this generic satirical humor that no one has done anymore. Like, everyone moved on. Like, this is humor you would see, like, 10 years ago. And DSP is just now doing it. And it's like, dude, it's like, move on. Think of something else. Find something else to be funny about. Find something else to joke. And it's just, there's no other material because this dude is not creative. And that's, like, the problem. So his commentary is just fucking garbage. It's just the lowest piece of trash you could find. And the thing that's also insane is that he brags. He brags about how he's an interactive streamer and all this stuff. But the interaction he does is just reading questions he wants to answer and stuff that he wants to talk about. If it's not anything he's interested in, he'll just sit there in silence and you'll just have to pay him to get him to talk, which is insane. It's like pulling teeth to get someone to start talking. And it's the streamer you have to, like, force to talk, which is insane. Like, sure, to a degree, you don't want you to answer constant questions. Sure, that's fine. But maybe sometimes you should bring your own topics to the table. Like, the fact that he's just sitting there in silence and be like, well, no one's talking to me. No one's asking me any questions. Like, I think back to that Dragon Quest Builders 2 stream he did. And the Twitch chat user, Jowl Scowl. Big shouts out to Jowl Scowl. Wonder if he's still around. Jowl Scowl asked him, like, why don't you ask us questions and all this stuff? And DSP gave you the truthful answer, then walked it back after. But the general gist of what he was saying, what DSP said was, that's not the point of streaming. The point of streaming is for you to ask the streamer questions and, all this kind of stuff. Which, yeah, that's like a side of it. Like, that's a part of it. But the other part is you. Like, you're the one talking. You're the one hosting the stream. Like, you have a chat. You don't want to talk to them and see what they're thinking, see what's on their mind. And the only time that DSP has ever asked them for their opinion is if it's like, what do you think of this game? Is this game good? You like this game? Yeah, this game's pretty good, right? Yeah, okay. And it's just, that's like kind of nothing interaction. It kind of comes off as, when you have, you go to, like, okay, you're a kid. You just got old enough to join the grown-ups table. You're no longer on the kids table. You're finally free. You're joining the big boys. You sit down. You're like, yeah, I'm where I belong. But you say nothing. So everyone at the table starts going off on about, like, business or operas or movies, whatever stuff that you don't really care for. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there in silence and be like, yeah, okay, and wait for them to talk to you, or are you gonna talk to them and see what happens and try to engage with them? Well, if this was DSP, he would probably sit there in silence the whole time until they decide to acknowledge him, which is, like, not really good manners and not really good speaking skills. And this is the other thing I was thinking about. Someone, I don't remember where I heard this from, but this was something that stayed in my mind for a bit, that a lot of people like doing streams because it allowed them to keep a human interaction. Like, they talk to other people on stream and, allow them to have this kind of human interaction. If they couldn't get it elsewhere, they could do it online. And, this is gonna be a side tangent. Like, people say, like, oh, you can't have friends online or anything like that. I think there's, like, a nuanced thing about that, because I don't think that you can never not have friends online, or, like, online friends. But I think it really depends on who you're talking to and how you form a relationship, because you obviously don't want to trust random people online. You don't know who's on the other end of the computer, but you could definitely get along with people, and that's kind of the interaction part of it. And that's kind of what's interesting about streaming as well. Like, you're doing this interaction with people. You're talking to someone, and they're listening to you, and they're talking to you, and all that kind of stuff. And that's really what I thought was interesting, that this person brought this up, and I was like, yeah, that is kind of cool if you think about it in that kind of way. So you go to DSP streams, and when his chat talks amongst themselves, he gets mad about that. He's like, okay, guys, can you stop talking about soccer and talk about something else? Like, I am playing a game and no one's talking to me. And it's like, dude, these people are in your chat and you don't want to talk to them, like, and it's kind of like, again, it's one thing if it's like, hey, this one dude is like asking constant questions over and over and over, and it's like, okay, I'm I'm burnt out on that. I'm just gonna like talk to someone else or whatever. That's one thing, but it's kind of disrespectful when you have a whole chat, not just one person, just like multiple people talking, and you decide to like get a little mad that they're not talking to you directly when you could just talk to them, see what they're talking about, and then jump into the conversation. But DSP just can't do that because he's not creative. He doesn't find ways to engage with his audience, and he always hides behind the game. And this is something that's also that's kind of fascinating because YouTube recommended me an old Tevin video where Tevin was watching a Mr. House Stuff video of one of the boomer segments that DSP used to do a lot of. I mean, guys, remember when he used to do a lot of boomer segments at the end of streams? I mean, that was something. But this was after the Luigi's Mansion 3 stream. And as Tevin was watching this, DSP mentions how, guys, I know you guys are tired of Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm tired of it too, but we gotta beat it. We're near the end of it, and after we beat it, then we can move on to the next game, guys. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. We're gonna beat it. I know, guys, it's a lot. And it was great when it came out on Halloween, but now it's like the gimmicks wearing off, and like, no one really cares about Luigi's Mansion anymore, So like, we're just gonna have to deal with it, guys. And I hear that, and it's the same shit he's doing now with Mass Effect when he was playing Mass Effect 3, Skyward Sword, Divinity, all these games he was playing. Guys, I know we want to get to the new games. It's coming. We just have to beat this game, guys. I know. Skyward Sword is like a remastered game on the Switch, and like no one liked it. I get it, but like, guys, we have to get through this. And then he just drops that game. Mass Effect 3. Guys, oh my god, I know you guys don't like Mass Effect 3, but we're like right at the end. We just have to beat it, guys. We just have to beat it, guys. And then we'll get to the new games. Okay, then we'll get Hades and all this stuff. And it's been a running meme to kind of keep calling out how these new games are not going to save the business and all this stuff. And it's just DSP coping with the sad reality that he's just not engaged. And I think I mentioned this earlier in this video, but that Pokemon Moon video that Eddie B43 uploaded is ever so true today, that this dude is just not engaged with anything he's doing, and that's a problem. And the other thing to look at it like this as well. On top of this was another thing I was thinking about previously, because I got recommended another old Tevin video where Tevin was watching. I was watching two of these Vest videos, the Forced Overtime Paper Mario video that Tevin did, and then the one where the vestrique ended. And this kind of made me think. So DSP has kind of bragged about how there's nothing going on the streams, guys. There's nothing bad going on the streams. It's all about positive things, all this stuff. And I'm just thinking, what has been going on DSP streams during this time in 2020? Oh, he was getting the vestrique, and this brought up another thing in my mind. So, can anyone remember any of the games he played in 2018, 2019, and the beginning of this year? The only thing I could think of in the beginning of this year was Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Yakuza. I only remember Assassin's Creed because every Assassin's Creed game always runs into the following year, all the time. There's that, and then there's Yakuza, which is a game I played, and I really like that game, so that always stood out to me. But what other game did he play in January and February and March that wasn't Returnal? Because, I mean, Returnal stands out because it's a roguelike, and he hates roguelikes. So, what game during that period stands out? Like, you start to really see an issue emerging from all this, where all of his content starts to blend together and merge, and it just becomes this big, like, colorless blob almost. It's like in painting. When you take all of the colors and you mix them all together, you get like a Oh, I don't remember if it's a brown or if it's a silver. I think it's a brown. I think you get some like this weird color, that's this weird ugly color. You get, you mix every single color in the in oil paints, and you get this like this meshy like blob of a color, and it's just like, and it doesn't really spark any like thing in your mind, because you see red, green, you're like, wow, these colors are very vibrant. But then you see, if you mix all of them together, and it's just like, okay, I mean, I don't remember it, so it is what it is. And that's kind of what happens with DSP streams. They all just blend together. Like, I can't really remember when he played Death Stranding or Jedi Fallen Order. Like, I would have to literally look at the game's release to really know when he played those games. And the saddest part about this is that I only remember the games he played in 2020 because of the vestrique. And that is the saddest thing. Because usually you'd think, okay, I watch a streamer, and oh, I remember this game. I remember he played this game because, you know, the streamer did something crazy. Like, I remember my Persona 3 stream because it was such a long stream, and I remember all the times when I would do the Kenji S-Link, I would hate it because it's such a stupid ass S-Link. Fuck that S-Link. I get mad every time I think about it. But, uh, the experience of playing Persona 3 was fun. It was a great time. And I really remembered like all the stuff that we had, doing the Elizabeth requests, going through the Guardian fights, the tables. I mean, the tables. I mean, that is like, someone posted something on Twitter that had a table meme, and I was like, look, guys, the table meme. Remember, because of how I struggled, and that like came, and I've always said everyone loved it. Everyone loves my content, guys. Well, maybe not in that extreme, but like, I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, I remember, like, dude, I remember the tables, the Give of Jotun, all these things that were like big pivotal things in my streams. I remember them because they were like memorable, but I can't remember anything when it comes to DSP, as if it's not drama that happened, or if it's not fucking the vestrique, because I only remember like Sleeping Dogs, Paper Mario, Ghost of Tsushima, and all these games because, especially Sleeping Dogs, because during the night streams, he would sit there and be like, guys, he would put the controller down, guys. We have 15 minutes left on the stream, and we are nowhere close to hitting the goal. So, it looks like this is going to be the end of the vestrique, so I'm just going to say this. It was great having the vestrique, and it was fantastic. It was fun. I didn't know anything about, like, he would go through a fucking eulogy for the thing, and it's like, dude, calm down. Like, and let's just look at the vestrique for a bit, okay? We've all been critical of it. We've all called it stupid. It's terrible. What a terrible idea. But let's take another look at the idea of the vestrique and remove DSP from the equation. Let's take DSP out and apply the vestrique on any other streamer on the planet. So a streamer is streaming, and he decides for every $100 he makes on stream, he will tally that up as a streak, and he would wear a vest. In celebration, he would celebrate how supportive his community is. And then, if he were to do this like 50 to 100 times, he would do a special stream to honor the support. He would do something like really cool for them that would show his appreciation for supporting him for so much. Like, that wouldn't be that bad. Like, that sounds kind of cool. Like, though I would say honestly, I think anyone would come up with a better idea than putting on a vest. But the idea of celebrating support like that is I don't know. I mean, hell, like, that's what this was, the viewer canvas. Every time someone would tip me $1 or spend $1, be it on like Twitch or anything else, whatever, or my Patreon, I do leave it open for patrons and Twitch subs, but they can request a character to be on the viewer canvas, and you know, this canvas would show up in my streams and all this kind of stuff. So this would be, in a way, celebrating people who would be willing to support. So that's kind of cool. That kind of idea is kind of cool. The reason why DSP just kind of ruins this idea isn't because it's the vest itself, is that he did these eulogies for it, so it kind of artificially extended the vestrique because it just became, okay, guys, you just give him money so he can put on a vest and he can be happy. Like, that's kind of what it became. And then, like, these festivals, the first one, I think a lot of people were very generous in saying that it was really cool. But after that, the novelty just immediately wore out because you realize this dude is not creative, and there's nothing interesting about these festivals. Like, it wears off so fast. And if you look at KO Gaming, it's the same kind of issue. KO Gaming was a channel that DSP tried to have it work alongside his gaming channel and his vlogging channel. So he did the Hateful Truth, he did some montages, he did some countdowns, whatever. The countdowns and impression videos and the montages all phased out, and it just pretty much became a review channel. He did the Hateful Truth for a while, until he played a game called Homefront the Revolution, which caused him to be so mad, he decided to do a special review that was an angry review. It was such a bad game, he gave it a special title, and he was so heated. He was like very angry during the commentary, so it was very like special and all that kind of stuff. And that video drummed up 1 million views. Now, of course, some of those views were aided by Reddit and all these other boards and all this stuff. So I guess you could argue that that's not true support, I guess, if you don't look at it that way. But if you were to look at it like a video on itself, it was pretty successful. Like, it innovated his reviews. It changed how his reviews worked out, and it was so successful. What does DSP do right after that? Now, of course, everyone cited the vacation as a big thing that caused KO Gaming's momentum to just fucking stop. And that is true, I agree with that. But it's also, the videos start to feel the same after that. Like, every other video that came out after Home for the Revolution started to feel like weaker imitations. And this is the thing that DSP has done for many years. He would make some grand change, and the change would work very well, and it would just be this big thing. And then, over time, it would just kind of stagnate, it would plateau, and then it would just go down. And I've said this about the vestrique at the time, that once this vestrique ends, it's just gonna be downhill from there. And to a degree, that is true. Like, he hasn't really made the same amount ever since the vestrique. If you really think about it, even if you accept that some of those tips might have been chargebacks, he still made more than he probably would have otherwise than he has now. Because now the only money he's been making a lot off of is just individual whales that are coming by now, which is like, arguably you could argue it's one person with many socks, or whatever. Which is, as I said, it's whatever. I mean, the thing is that I think it's important to note that it's fine if people want to support DSP currently. I mean, I don't see what's there to support compared to what he was and what he is now. He's like an empty husk. But if they want to support him, that's fine. I don't think there's an issue with them supporting a content creator that they like. I just think that a lot of these people who are supporting him are just people that, I feel that these are people that would probably get banned in other Twitch chats, potentially. I don't want to say for sure because I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, but it's just every time that these people come in to save the day, they always have a attention complex. They always want attention. Like, it's never just, like, it gets increasingly funny to me. And I don't know if anyone else shares this comedy with me, but Planet Jeff was the only contributor on this planet to ever tip Phil a lot of money and to just be a normal dude almost. Like, he didn't really, like, I don't remember him saying anything in his tips that were just like, yeah, Phil, those trolls, fuck them. Here's $200. You're the best, and don't let them get in the way. Man. And then Planet Jeff never ranted on in the chat like Frenolith or Only Iced Coffee or any of these other whales that have been around. it's so funny to me that Planet Jeff, the only supporter that was like the least like attention whore kind of guy compared to all of the other whales that DSP has had, is the one that leaves. He's the one that leaves after getting like trolled slightly. Because I think all that, well, no, maybe I shouldn't say troll slightly because he did kind of get doxxed, so that's that kind of happened. But he just left, and he was like the only one out of all these other whales that didn't have that didn't have some kind of complex, which is just kind of funny to me that that was the one that leaves, and now DSP is he's just left. He's left with these people who are just that I would argue they don't care for Phil. Like they say that they do, but they really don't. They only care for Phil because Phil gives them the platform. DSP gives these people the platform to have such prestige on their name. Because he says, "Sir," like he gave Only Iced Coffee a pre-stream segment multiple times. When he was gifting subs like no other on Twitch, he would just go on Twitch and go on his pre-stream and be like, "Guys, if you got a sub, you gotta thank Only Iced Coffee." He was being very generous. And then he gave them mod stats, mod status, and that's all his mods. There's like only very few mods that are there that weren't whales because they're just the obvious token. Hey, they're not supporters. See, I gave them mods. See, I'm not. See, I don't just mod whales, guys. That's kind of what those kind of mods come up with. Because does anyone even know who Fehu is? Fehu. No one knows who that guy is. He became mod at the same time as Only Iced Coffee, and it's kind of obvious why he became mod, right? Uh, but yeah, like you look at all those mods, and all these mods turn out the same. People who are just attention whores. Like, look at Swaggins. Swaggins is like the poster baby for this. He got into a disagreement with Phil. Oh no, guys. Phil got mad, and then he got demodded. Swaggins leaked some mod chat shit that was whatever. Then decides to go on Twitter and be like, "Yeah, guys, Phil's stupid. He sucks. He's a fucking asshole. You guys are right all along. I can't believe I was a fan." And then, when he wasn't getting the attention he wanted, he was like, "Hey, Phil, I love you again. Can I be a mod again? Oh, sweet, I'm mod." And now here we are with Swaggins. It's so obvious that these people do not give a shit about DSP, and it's really sad. It's really sad that DSP surrounds himself with these kind of mods. That the only mod I feel that kind of ever cared about DSP was Infinite. And where is Infinite? Did he ever make the move to YouTube? Because I don't think he did. I think Infinite's just I think, okay, you know what? I think if Infinite left the community like a king. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, Infinite, don't fuck this up. Okay, if I know you watch my videos. If you're gonna fucking spite me for this, then I'll make a video just for you. But anyways, he was the only guy that, in my mind at least, that I don't think he left with any fanfare. He didn't make a grand exit. He was just like, "Yeah, okay, I'm out. Bye." And he just left. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything that was that would draw attention, which kind of shows that Infinite was kind of the only genuine person. I mean, unless I'm missing some lore on Infinite. I mean, maybe I am. But Infinite hasn't really said anything at all, and he's nowhere to be found. So I think he just kind of stopped coming around on his own terms, and he just didn't want to be he didn't want to risk being the baby like Swaggins is. See, Swaggins set the tone, and if it was like, "Yeah, see how dumb Swaggins is, I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna fuck up." But that's all his supporters now. It's all these people who are thirsty for attention, who are either just thirsty for attention or who are just trying to troll Phil, and that's his audience. And the thing that is just insane is that I kind of feel that DSP knows that's his audience. Deep down in his little brain, he has to have known. He has to know that all of the people that were there that were genuine fans are gone. And I honestly think that the silent majority is a coping mechanism, because I think deep down he's just kind of depressed that he isn't pulling in the same kind of people he used to pull in with his content anymore, because he's not cutting it anymore. There's all these other streamers out there that are just doing it better than him, or whatever, and DSP just is not doing anything. Like, what's really there? So you see the vestrique, and that was kind of forced along because of the vest eulogies. The festivals were a bust because they were just the same videos, and the best he could do is kept on teasing that he go to PW Dubs' island, and that just tells you all you need to know about how DSP hypes up his content for his viewers. Every single time he has something to show appreciation for his viewers, he fucks it up. And what a better example of this than his viewers' choice events or just his marathons. And this is a thing that I was gonna do a video on years ago. This was an idea I had probably since 2017, because this was something that I was noticing from Phil for months, years, etc. That, and I decided not to do it because it would require a lot of fucking work that was not even worth it, because I have to go through like a lot of videos to find it. I was like, no, because it's such a minute thing. But every event that viewers get to vote on, nominate for, etc., viewers' choice, Halloween marathon, what have you, DSP, without fail, will always be passive aggressive with whatever the viewers choose. You could see that with Super Mario Sunshine. He was like, I told them not to vote for it, and they voted for it. Oh my god, I can't believe, why would you vote for this? I'm telling you, I'm playing Mario now. I can't play Mario Sunshine until later. And they vote for it. And instead of just acting like, hey guys, Mario Sunshine won, I'm playing Mario Odyssey right now, I'm just gonna wait until February to play Mario Sunshine. I know it's a long time, I'm sorry, but that's how it's gonna have to be. And if you are upset with it, he could just say, I'm sorry, that's just how it has to be, and just move on. But it's always been a big thing for him to be confrontational. So there was that. There was the Indie Marathon, where he didn't like Hotline Miami. He kept complaining about how that game made his hands hurt, which, I mean, I never played the PC version. I played it on PS4 and Switch, and it seemed fine to me. But he complained about how that game was cramping his fingers. Oh, how can they play that? Why would he pick this game? Whatever. And then he complained about Darkest Dungeon. That game won an Indies Marathon nomination, and he's like, oh, why did they pick Darkest Dungeon? I told them I didn't want this kind of game. It wouldn't work for a marathon setting, and this and that. And I'm sitting there thinking, these people probably vote for these games in hopes that these would become full playthroughs. And that's how DSP hypes it up all the time. Every marathon that he hypes up, he always makes sure to tell his viewers, well guys, you never know. If a game gets nominated for a marathon, I might just do it as a full playthrough. And if you go back and look at all these marathons where a game from a marathon became a full playthrough, it's always a game that Phil likes. If it's a game that he likes and he knows he'll like, he'll do a full playthrough of it. If it's a game that he doesn't know anything about it, except for the viewers picked it, he will not do a full playthrough of it. It's never guaranteed. The only reason why I believe he did a full playthrough of Persona 4 was because he likes the trope of murder mysteries, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. And that's probably why he played it. Then Persona 3 is probably the same way, but he kind of was shamed into beating it too. So, but that's how it's always been. The viewer events have always just been him being so passive aggressive towards his audience, and you can see that even with most recent Divinity. And Divinity shows another trait that DSP does, where he says something in hopes that within time you forget about it, because I guarantee DSP, and everyone knows this, I mean, I don't have to tell you, but DSP says this in his stream, saying, Well, guys, I'm gonna put Divinity 2 on hiatus because there's so many games coming out. I'll play this later. I'm gonna play this like when there's time. You know, I need a lot of time to spend in this game. I'm gonna play it later. He says this. Time passes and all this stuff, and if you start asking him questions like that, like, are you gonna play Divinity, and start poking and prodding, like, later on, he starts giving you the true answer of, no, I decided to drop it because it just wouldn't work. Now, think about it. Why couldn't he just say that in the beginning, in the first place? Like, he could just say, hey guys, I know I promised a full playthrough, I'm sorry, but this game, I'm just not feeling it. I know you guys are mad, and look, I'll make it up to you guys. The second runner of the viewer's choice, I'll just play that instead, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm sorry, it was a bust. It is what it is. I just don't want. This is not for me. And he gets moved on from that. But instead, what he does is he tries to please everyone, and he loves reciting the meme of you can please some of the people most of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. You know that saying. And he says that, but he doesn't believe it because he definitely tries to please everyone. He definitely does. That's why his streams and his videos are so bland because he doesn't make content that he wants. He's not making content that he would want to watch. He's making content that everyone would want to watch, that everyone would love it. Like that's why like the big takeaway he gives his audience is that you see what's going on the stream. There's nothing going on. Look at this. If anyone has any problems, they're making it up because they're trolls. And he says this because he knows there's nothing going on because he's playing in such a boring way that no one could possibly be upset and say, look how bad he's playing this. And that's how he plays the game. That's why he leans way heavier on hand holding now. So his content has just declined, and it's no one else to blame but himself because he doesn't feel engaged. His commentary has gone stale. He treats his audience like they're idiots, like they're babies. He doesn't really care for what the viewers want at all. He claims he does, but he always has some passive aggressive reason as to why he's not going to do the game that you voted for. Uh, and he does things very less of his viewers. He hasn't been very secretive of it either because he's openly said multiple times that he thinks the common viewer is an idiot, and he says this not knowing that the common viewers means everyone. And of course, he could argue, well, I'm not talking about the people who watch my content because they're cool, but the trolls watch his content, so they're cool too. I mean, I guess. But like that's the point. That's the problem with his content. It's just that it's it's all this bullshit that he baked in that it just makes it stale. The fact that he's going through all these games and he just doesn't feel engaged, and the fact that he gets excited about beating them not because he's getting to the end, but so that he can move on to the next game, highlights everything that's wrong. And I did an Xbox Series X video, and the point of that was to highlight the Game Pass stuff. You will notice the Game Pass marathon has definitely is not what he sold it at all. He said he was going to do a stream, a night stream, mind you, of him going through the menu to pick games to download, and then he was going to play those games on the marathon. Funny how that idea morphed into, we will download the games on the daytime stream, play the games on the daytime stream, and pick the games from there to play on the marathon, so that it's a semantics game, and that's what he does. But it's trash because the whole point of the Game Pass marathon was to experiment on Game Pass and play games that he wouldn't normally play. And so far, the games he's playing are PUBG, a game he played before because he owned the game, the Master Chief Collection, which I am 80% sure he bought. I feel like he did buy that game, but I'm not too sure. But he's still gonna play that game. I mean, it's Halo. I mean, he was probably gonna want to play the game anyway, to be completely honest, because it's a triple A game that everyone loves. So you had to have known he saw that and was like, yeah, this is a clear winner. The Last Stop is probably the only one that's kind of weird in that collection because it's a narrative based game that he wants to play, so that gets in. And then I'm gonna call it. I feel he's gonna shove in Flight Simulator because that is a Game Pass game. So I wouldn't put it past him to put Flight Simulator in the rotation. But that's what happened with the marathon. And someone asked me like, why don't you just try these games out on the marathon? That's not the point of the marathon. So this whole meme of the Game Pass shit is just him just guiding the hand to pick the games that he wants. It's the perfect example of a Telltale game, the illusion of choice. It's ridiculous because like if you want Code Vein and he keeps hyping up Game Pass as the no risk experience, then why not try Code Vein? Like he complains it's a waifu game and all this stuff, which isn't even true. That's not even in the game. And then he says that he doesn't like because it's a clone game. Well, why not just try it? There's no investment required. You can just play the game and see what it's all about. See if it's a good FromSoft clone or if it isn't. Because what if it isn't? And it just blows my mind. He just doesn't want to do it because he has no interest in it, which to a point is fine if he has no desire to play Code Vein, but then don't paint these Game Pass events as if it's like you guys get free reign on what the games I get to play. Because if that's the case, then why are you excluding all these games? Like during the very first Game Pass stream, he was literally shooting down ideas. He was like, "Oh, look at this game! No, 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 no." And it's like, dude, this is Game Pass. Then no risk, and you're saying no to all these games. Like he denied all these games for no reason. Like there's no reason to not play it. So it's kind of ridiculous that he blames the content and the situation of his content on the trolls and what happened to him, but it's not. I'm sorry, Phil, if you're watching this or if any of your fans are watching this, it's not the trolls' fault. I would say it's debatable in terms of like how fast it happened. Because sure, you could argue that okay, maybe without troll intervention, this whole thing would have been dragged out longer, and maybe the trolls expedited the process, maybe, but that I still feel is debatable. I think this whole thing would have just happened even without the trolls, because you would still have broken up with Leanna, without the trolls. The trolls did not break up Leanna. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. Secondly, you've had no trolls ever since the SOK broke up. Like the SOK is gone now, and the SOK was like the number one detractor group that DSP was pointing to, saying, "Look at them, they're fucking me up." And to a point, he was kind of right because they did kind of coordinate some stuff, but after that, who's he gonna like? Who's there? Kiwi Farms? I mean, Kiwi Farms is a form that has existed long before DSP. The Kiwi Farm started from doing Chris Chan shit, and even then, the Kiwi Farm stuff is just them talking about whatever. Like you don't really have to sit there and be like, "Oh my god, guys." And if you don't agree with what Kiwi Farms did, that's fine too. I mean, everyone can have an opinion about it, but I wouldn't blame DSP's situation on the trolls or Kiwi Farms because the stuff that's going on with him now is because of him. Like, think about his contributions as well. Like, he's not getting a lot of people to support him. He's getting individuals that carry the streams all the time. And I've said this ever since he accepted tips. He only gets a lot of money after he starts to cry for them. Now, it used to be very, very quick, too. Like, it used to be like, he'd do a stream, he kind of like, be like, oh, okay, guys, it's a very slow stream. And then he'd get a lot of money right after. Now, it seems to be, like, delayed to a day. Now, it's like, okay, if a day is slow, and he makes it known, the next day will be the day that they'll make up for it all the time. Because DSP cannot run his streams without crying about low money, which isn't really fair, because people don't go to people's streams to worry about their money. Like, I've never seen a streamer have a community so invested in how much money the person's making, like DSP's community. Now, of course, you could say, well, DSP, well, Theo, their trolls are invested in his money too, but I'm speaking just in terms of DSP, like, if we just ignore the way that trolls look at his money and just go with what DSP wants us to focus on, be it like if a stream is slow and all this stuff, like Why should we just care if, like, the Mass Effect 3 stream the other night? Why should we care he made $7? Like, isn't the point of his streams to relax and unwind and enjoy the game he's playing and enjoy DSP's content? Why are we sitting there and being like, guys, he made $7. Oh man, can't believe that. Like, and that's not even the trolls saying that. It's the fans. Because DSP makes us care about it, because DSP talks about it on his Twitter, he talked about it in the audio schedule, he talked about it on the stream today, Friday as I'm recording this. Like, he made us care because he kept bringing it up. And that's why I don't think it's the trolls that are causing this decline in his quality. It's him. All these other streamers, all these other content creators are kind of going around him. And what does DSP do to give us to give his fans content? Oh well, if I get like $100 every stream for 100 streams, I'll do a festival where I wear a vest and I eat food. Wow, that's cool. And now you look at him. Well, we gotta hit a membership goal. Then we can eat food and play games. And every day, someone in his chat has to be thinking, the poor soul that has not moved on has to be sitting there thinking to themselves, remember when this was about gameplay streams and not about stupid gimmicks? And now streams are stupid gimmicks. Like, the whole year last year was all about the vestrique, and that fell apart because of him. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoy this special little video of me just talking about the quality of his streams, and I hope it was interesting. Feel free to type your thoughts in the comment section below. I might do a follow up on this, but I think I covered what I wanted to cover. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you next time, be it on Twitch or on here, wherever it may be it a archive or live. But thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video or stream. Have a good week, everyone. Bye-bye.